Are you an author who wants to make your book into an audiobook, but you're not exactly sure how? I got some stuff you want to hear. If you're with a big publisher, you get with the roster of the publishing house and you pick someone from there and they kind of do all of that and you don't have to worry about it. If you're with a smaller publisher or you're self-publishing, acx.com is a great place to do it. You can do royalty share. There's some pros and cons to that. Pros being there's no money down on your end. Con being royalty share only is going to severely limit the ability of your narrator, most likely. It'll be a lot of new people or inexperienced people. It doesn't mean you can't get a great narrator, but it's going to be a little tougher to find. Another great option would be royalty share plus. That's where you split the royalties with the narrator, royalty share, but then plus you're paying them per finished hour as well. So if your book is 5 hours, well, you would give them, let's say, $500 if it's $100 a finished hour, plus the royalty share portion. Another way to do it is just to do it yourself. A lot of authors that I know would love to do it themselves, but they're not sure how. So let me challenge you with something. If you want to make your own audiobook, you should do it. But you ought to think of it like an event. If someone were to say, hey, do you want to run a marathon with me? You wouldn't run out that weekend and run a marathon. Most likely you would say, hey, let's run the St. Jude Marathon in December, right? And so you would prepare for several months, to do that. And I would say, if you want to narrate your own book, that's how you should approach that kind of a project. So however good you are, if you're not doing it professionally already, you ought to train for it. And what I mean is, there's just some things you can do to prepare yourself. One is just read aloud a lot. Read your own writing aloud. Record it, listen back, see what you sound like, that sort of thing. Now, I have a course. It's $29, and it is how you set up everything from your mindset to your studio, and then even how you can go on and make money in other genres of voiceover as well. It's a great deal, and I would highly recommend it. Also, I highly recommend my book, How to Be a Voice Actor. Links to both are below. So let's say, you know what? I like this idea. I'm definitely going to do it. Jake, what do I need to do? Here's what you ought to do. Set up your studio. It can be something very simple. It could be in a spare closet. It could be in a spare bedroom. It could be in the nook under the stairs, just as long as there is a sound-treated space around you and you have a very decent microphone. You're free of outside noise like airplanes, dogs barking, chickens crowing, traffic, jackhammers, sirens. So those outside noises, you want to be free of that. But then also inside noises, the compressor from the refrigerator, the air conditioning unit, the heater, that kind of thing. You want it to be free of those noises too. Also, it can't just be a quiet place. It needs to be sound treated. That way, when your voice goes out, it doesn't bounce around bare, hard walls and come back through distorted and cause an echo, right? It needs to go through and then diffuse away from the mic, never to be heard again. And that's how you'll get that nice audiobook studio quality sound. With enough pillows and blankets, you can make your own. You can do that in your own house. Need a good mic? I would recommend something with an XLR cord and an interface. There's some things linked below that I have used and I like and I think would be a good option. I would download something like Audacity, cheap and free and easy to use. Start reading aloud and listen back to it. And then you can practice your editing and practice your storytelling. And then one of these days, hopefully very soon, you'll say, I am ready to do my own book. Then you get on ACX, you upload it, you start making the money. Besides what you split with Audible, you keep all the royalties and you're not splitting them with anybody else. Plus, you have the enormous satisfaction of having narrated your very own book.